Is inflation starting to eat away at your ability to pay for goods and services? We're having more and more conversations with people who are battling the higher prices at the gas station. It's costing more for food. Utilities are going up, and it's just costing more for us to live. We, in the past 10 years, have been kind of lulled to sleep with relatively low cost of living, not high inflation. And then over the last couple of years, we've seen really inflation ramp up, and it's costing more. So we've been running into more and more clients in our reviews that need to raise additional income to fund their retirement. And so this is a great way for us to sit back down and kind of review, are you taking enough income to live in retirement? Are you taking too much income? How can we generate the income you need to live today? And so we had a conversation last week where a husband and wife came in and they were taking about a 4% distribution rate, which is, rule of thumb, a relatively safe distribution rate once you've entered into retirement and you're no longer working. So if you've got $1 million portfolio, rule of thumb says you could take 4%, which is $40,000, and have your assets the rest of your life, and those assets provide that $40,000 adjusted for inflation every year. Now, I want to be careful and say this is just a rule of thumb. There are a lot of people that will say, yes, you can use it without any problems at all. I prefer to use this really as a rule of thumb and still be able to use some variables in play to make sure that we can make adjustments if those are needed. In this case, the client was taking 4%. They needed to raise some additional money to support their lifestyle because they're not on Social Security yet. So what we did is we raised their income to 5 or 5.5%. That provided them some additional monthly income to support their life. They're not really doing anything extravagant. It just costs more money to live today than it has in the past. So we raised their income to 5 or 5.5. I don't necessarily think that that is detrimental to the plan, but I do think we got to be more cautious about, what investment decisions we make, what additional money do we draw, when do we draw it, how do we access it. You want to make sure that as long as you have life, you have money. And so the more you take, the more at risk you put that. Now, in this case, I think it's going to be totally fine. They are not on Social Security yet. They're going to start drawing Social Security 1 year from now. So we're really talking about taking additional income for 1 year. And then once they go on Social Security, go back down to the 4% that we were taking. We may even cut it a little bit less than that, because their Social Security is going to give them a pretty big jump between the two of them. And so what we're really trying to do is fill the gap from now to when they claim Social Security 12 months from now. So this is where really financial advisors can come in. They can help you kind of think through the income strategy. How much can you safely take? When should you take Social Security? All of these puzzle pieces fit together, and it's really a great way to come up with a formal plan on paper so that you know exactly what you're doing and what those ramifications are, what those benefits are. There's way more to financial planning and being a financial advisor than just picking investments. Yes, that is kind of the fun part or the glamorous part or the part that most people think of us as, but really we provide so much more. And in this case, it's really focused around retirement planning and am I going to be okay if we take a little bit more? So if you have questions about retirement income planning, there's several ways to do it. A lot of people use the bucket strategy. A lot of people use guardrails. People use the 4% rule. People will use interest and dividend income only. There are all kinds of ways to plan for retirement income planning. And so what I encourage you to do, if you haven't already, is sit down, find the approach that you think works best for you, and let's start mapping that out so that you have a clear vision around what does retirement income look like for you in the future. Thanks for listening. Be confident in your retirement. Have a wonderful day.